Alright, we are back with the 7th game in the series, and guys, if you're currently watching this video on YouTube, then my apologies that the last game, that game number 6, was not uploaded. Unfortunately, there was a technical problem which caused a lot of lag in-game, which made it kinda unwatchable, which is the reason why I did not upload the series. BabyKnight was able to take down MMA indeed, and that, of course, put the Ace player out. We have for Team Acer here at the Acer TeamStory Cup match between Acer and Team Millenium. Innovation being the last player for his team. They didn't revive anybody. They sent out another player. They said, alright, it's time for Innovation to show the kids how it's done. He's starting now on Habitation Station on map number 7 against the Protoss player to the top right, who finally took down MMA. So BabyKnight here with only one more map that he has to win for his team, and then Millenium would take, I think, even the first spot in the rankings. But of course they have a couple of more players left. Innovation, if he wants to pull through here for Team Acer, has to win 3 in a row. And we are going to find out if he is able to do that, or if it's going to be Millenium in the end who's going to take it. So right now we have 4 Innovation already gas taken in the main base, no surprises there. Also the assimilator for BabyKnight, and Innovation, I mean, spiking here at the APM. I'm really excited to see this game right now. The last time that I've seen him in the Acer TeamStory Cup was when he was pinned up against Tefl, and Tefl actually took him out really early on with roach aggression. That was pretty awesome. So Innovation back then, I'm not really listening to MMA's advice. Maybe that was the reason why we saw MMA today first, or simply Innovation really couldn't make it earlier than that. But whatever the reason is, we finally have him in the game, and that means that BabyKnight has to defeat another Terran player, another Korean, and maybe the power of Protoss is able to help him with that, at least for now. We have currently actually David Kim talking a little bit about. It was actually funny. Like, David Kim posted and said, like, all right, listen guys, we know that Terran versus Protoss, it got a little bit better, but we still worried about a couple of matchups. And he posted something that made me kind of smile a little bit. He says, like, yeah, contrary to the pro feedback from Protoss players that we got, we think that Terran still needs to get a little bit stronger. Something like that. I don't know if that was exactly what he said, but it was very funny. So they were just analyzing the statistics that they got and what happened after they made the recent changes. Keep in mind, for example, the Blink Stalker all-in was a little bit nerfed. And they say, like, yeah, Protoss players still say that it's very tricky to win against Terran. We think otherwise because of the statistical background that we have here. It made me smile a little bit, because everybody always plays the weakest race. We all know that. I don't think there are a lot of people out there, and also not a lot of pros that actually look at the game and say, like, yeah, of course my race is too strong right now in this certain matchup. Please nerf a few of my units and make it harder for me to win. So that doesn't only go for pros, by the way, that goes for all of the races. So if you have a matchup that is slightly imbalanced, I highly doubt that one race is gonna say, like, yeah, of course, please make my race a little bit weaker. I mean, in the end, we're talking about also professional players that make a living of this. Talking about a bit of professional aggression, we have BabyKnight now moving cross-map with Zealot, Stalker, and also Mothership Core, trying to move in and maybe do a little bit damage there, and he might succeed with that, because the main problem that Innovation has right now is the lack of the bunker. But well, that Stalker needs to be careful. Walking up a ramp without high ground vision was not a good idea in Wings of Liberty, and it's still not a good idea in Heart of the Swarm. You need to be pretty careful with that. So right now we have currently to the right side of the map BabyKnight with the Nexus here, and already starting to saturate that. As you can see, we have at the same time the robotics facility in the main base, so this time not relying on that gateway aggression that we saw on map number 1, well, the last map that he played against his opponent MMA, but this time he wants to go for the tech right away. In the last game he really tried to make this aggression work, but that didn't really... Yeah, well, it kind of worked for him. He did some damage and put MMA in a bit of a bad spot, but he couldn't end the game as fast as he wanted to. So right now he's changing things up quite a bit, and actually, as it happens, we do not only see the robotics facility with an observer being built here, but the Twilight Council is the follow-up. And Innovation gets the scan in there that he needs to identify both of those. The one thing that he doesn't know about is this very quick third base that we see from BabyKnight. Even before the 7-minute mark, he goes for a third. And I highly doubt that MMA is going... MMA Innovation, of course, is going to expect that. So, looking at the main base on the top, we have the factory just now coming into play, meaning that the Medivacs will of course be a little bit late, since he is currently using his gas for the +1 attack upgrade that we see here spinning in the engineering bay. And without dropships, it's going to be pretty difficult for him to do damage to that mineral line at that third. So BabyKnight seems to be getting away with it, but the SCV is on the way to the right side of the map and will find out what's going on there eventually. So he gets that scout in after all. But here comes Blink, here come additional gateways as well, making sure that he has the warp in potential to just get more units into the mix. We still have him not putting this one into a warp gate. Well, there we go, all three at the same time. And as it happens, wow, he was trying to trap the SCV before he sees the base, but now it moves in, and Innovation is looking at this like, damn. Alright, third base for him. What am I going to do about it? He himself does not have a third command center, so he's going into the second armor upgrade, second upgrade, which is the first armor upgrade, and the starport. But it's going to get a little bit iffy for him. Blink is going to be done once this happens. The harvester count is currently in favor of BabyKnight already, but not by much. It will be, though, if he really utilizes the chrono boost and also the triple pro production that he has there. As soon as he gets out of the supply block, that is. He needs a few more pallets than that, and that's currently what he's building. Immortals are also being produced. And the one problem that you, of course, have if you take such an early third base is you spread yourself out a little bit thin at the beginning. That's where the really Blink comes into play. Bit of mobility. He needs also a few... I feel he needs a few more observers, to be absolutely honest with you. I feel an observer, for example, right over here. Seeing a drop moving in would really help him quite a bit. And maybe another one over here on the high ground. Parting was one of those players that really loved to go heavy observer, especially when he emerged in the scene, trying to have exactly that information so that he could react in time. But BabyKnight sees the move out by his opponent, so he sees that force running cross map. And that's definitely an army to take note of, because we are looking at 46 bio supply here, and BabyKnight, yes, he has quite some supply on his own, but with a quick lift into the main base, that could ruin the income at least there. That's exactly what we see here. So that's where those observers would come in really handy, already making their way into it, and well, he's gonna try and snipe that robo, and that's no problem for Innovation at all. So a pretty obvious move here by the Terran player, and BabyKnight, unfortunately for him, not able to do anything about it since he just didn't have the scouting information. So another set moves in at that third base, and this is what we talked about earlier. Spreading yourself thin with the third early on in the game, and he's currently paying for it. And leaves the mana gap there to let the bio units escape. And in Germany we call that "Gib der Flieger eine Chance." You have those fly swatters where there is just a hole in the middle and you want to give the fly a chance, and that's exactly what we saw there. The tiny bio army has a chance to escape, uses that gap wisely, and gets away. But still, in terms of harvesters killed, we have 11 killed against 1. Only 3 Marines died in the process. So don't worry, children. There was no Marine cruelty or anything. Only 3 of them died, and that doesn't really count, does it now? So, well, we have the army just once again trying to get into position, and that's by now a 78 army supply against 54. Oh, BabyKnight needs to be really careful here. The force fields are much better than they were in the last engagement. Are they good enough, though? Most of those Widow Mines are all the way at the back. Force fields moving in once again, and with nice targeting on the Immortal, he can take down at least those Marauders, but that's still a lot of army supply that we see there for Innovation. BabyKnight is falling back already, and here comes the Terran player for Team Acer. He wants to put a stop to this, take down that third base, and show BabyKnight who's boss, but he needs to contest with a Photon Overcharge now, as well as the army that we have for BabyKnight, and another round of Warpins could happen any second, since it's not a problem of minerals, it's only a problem of having the gateways ready and the cooldown there. The snipes are good, but the reinforcements for Innovation are already streaming in, and all of those Widow Mines will be out of cooldown eventually, making their way over now into the natural. The reinforcements for the Terran player are streaming cross map as well, and he's securing his position on the high ground with another set of Widow Mines. The Immortal moving right into them. Getting a shot off against this one is going to be great for him, but maybe BabyKnight finally can come through. No, it doesn't really look like it. At this point, the army supply is heavily in favor of Innovation. 83 against 19. It's just the Photon Overcharge that keeps him alive a little bit longer. It's the Terran player that really makes the moves right now and initiates those engagements, taking down even more Harvesters. The Harvester count is now 49 against 48, and Innovation, he's just not done. He moves in, takes down unit after unit. Another base is gonna fall here. The third is gone, and GG as Innovation claims victory and puts the third point onto the scoreboard for his team, forcing out player number 4 for Team Millenium.